Hey boys and girls, welcome back to the shop. Thought we would take another look at the Kohler in that case 222 over there before we rip it out and rebuild it. Wanted to take a look at the crankcase breather and the carburetor on it and see if we can't get it running just a little bit better. I'm sure it's probably the rings that are causing the smoke that we were seeing when we had it running the other day. But with the way that crankcase breather is pouring oil, I mean, I guess that could be just, you know, a symptom of bad rings as well, but I was reading up a little bit more about the engines over the past couple of days, and it sounds like that crankcase breather in general is just sort of a troubled area for the K301, and obviously the carburetor on this one needs some attention as well, so figured we'd, you know, take a look at those two things and see if we can't get it running just a little bit better before we decide to pull it out and rebuild it just for the hell of it. So got to move some shit around as usual, and we'll get that out of the corner there and start working on it. Did get the snowblower put on the 1855. I got to throw the tire chains on that yet and just give it a good lube job. Everything needs to be greased, oils need to be changed. Want to get that done before the snow flies here. I got the Ford shoved out in the garden shed out there alongside the other 1655. I don't know how I managed to get both those in there, but they're in there for now. I got to figure out where I'm going to stow that deck for the case. Probably just going to toss that out in the woodshed alongside the other deck that's out there for the other 1655, and that's where it's going to sit all winter long. But as usual, you know, running out of room in here. But I think we're going to get rid of some stuff and I don't know, just shift things around so we actually have some room to work in here. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to dig that case out and we'll get working on it. Alright, let's have a look at this thing. Definitely a little bit of garbage in there, but not nearly as bad as I was expecting. Go ahead and toss that in the soup pot right away. Needle doesn't look too bad. The rubber tip, it's got the little indentation worn in it from where it was pressing up against the seat, but overall it doesn't look too bad. This actually looks like it's been rebuilt. I mean, not recently, but either that or the inside of it stayed pretty dang clean. So, but yeah, everything that's, you know, brass looks actually halfway decent, which is kind of surprising. But we'll still take it apart and give it a good once over here. And it won't do that either. You fit in there better? Well, I might have to leave the main jet in there. It doesn't want to come out, and I don't want to break it. I don't know if that snapping and cracking was coming through on camera, but it was, sounds like she's kind of tight, unless that was the handle on my screwdriver making that noise, but hard to say. Pull him out and save it for later. But try that one more time and see what happens. That didn't sound good. Safe to say she's not coming out, but that's not the end of the world, I guess. Really not much to this at all. I mean, other than that main jet that I can't get out, there's what? A couple of air fuel mixture screws, your 1, 2, that's pretty much it. You got your 2 mixture screws, your needle and float that's in the pot already over there. Well, really not too much to keep track of here. So as usual, I got cut off while I was rambling on there by my camera, but anyway, carburetor is cooking in the old ultrasonic cleaner. By the way, do not buy one of those from Harbor Freight. That thing is kind of a pile of crap. Not worth the 80 bucks anyway. Doesn't really do a whole lot. It's great for just heating up liquids, but other than that, kind of useless if you ask me. So do yourself a favor and spend money on a decent one. But apparently I guess I still think it's worth using because I'm using it. But while that's cooking in there, we'll come back over to the engine here and take a look at that crankcase breather and see what we can't figure out with that. Well, upon first look here, it's at least installed the correct way. They have a little indicator, which is kind of hard to read sometimes, but this little bump out here that's on the cover of the breather stamped, it says top, so obviously you want that towards the top. But you'd be surprised how many people can't figure that out. Like I said, I've never worked on this specific Kohler engine before, the K301, but a lot of those crankcase breathers on garden tractor engines are the same way, and they're all marked and well, a good majority of them anyway need to go in a certain way, but a lot of times when people mess with things, myself included, don't put it back the right way. So always worth taking a look when you're playing with something new. Yeah, that's safe to say that's where the majority of our oil is coming from. As if it was any question to begin with, but see if we can get that filter out of here in one piece. And you can see that one there is marked top as well. So, at least on the K301, these are all directional, and like I said, a lot of other engines are the same way. They need to go back in a certain way, so always pay attention to that. I'll try and take a quick peek at the valve clearance as well. While I have the cover off and while I'm in here, might as well check to make sure that those are set correctly, but in the meantime, I'm going to go restart the ultrasonic cleaner, because it only runs for about 480 seconds at a time. How they come up with that, I'm not sure, but again, don't buy one of those. Pull the spark plug here real quick just so I can roll the engine over by hand a little easier. You know what? I think this thing is locked up again. Because I can't turn it at all. That's interesting. So, just out of curiosity, I wonder what the head looks like again. Well, you already know where this is going. Yeah. Let's see if I can get it to turn over here. Interesting. I think that's as far as I'm going to mess with it though, before getting a rebuild kit for it. So at this point, I think I'm going to start ripping some parts off of it. Whether this ends up in this video or the next video, we'll find out, but it's clear we're not going to get any more lucky than we already have, so it's time to just start stripping it down, pull the engine, rebuild it, and put her back in there. Alright, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the hoses there that are going up to the oil cooler and see how big of a mess we can make doing that. I just pulled the hood off just to make it a little bit easier to get at the oil cooler there, and I'm gonna probably pull that off and then cap off those oil lines as best as I can. I drained the majority of the hydraulic oil from the system already, but just want to get the cooler off of there, cap those lines off, and then I'm probably going to call her a night, I think. Okay, that's a couple days later. I'm going to go ahead and try to get the oil drained here before I go and pull the engine. Hopefully not make too big of a mess. So I'm hoping that I can just pull this cotter pin here and then just pull the actuating rod just out of the bore that it's in here. Let's see if it's going to actually be that easy. Yep. moment of truth situation. I'm not 100% sure if this is even going to move. And no, I need to unbolt this. It's like a cover yet that goes over the crankshaft, and I think that's the only thing that is holding it in there yet. I see now that it's also bolted to the hydraulic pump. I thought it was just bolted to the engine and would have come out with it, but I see it's not the case now. So let's get that out of there and try this one more time. Sort of feels like something else on the bottom here that I'm missing. But I can't see what that would be unless it's just hung up on these rubber mounts. It should be sliding forward otherwise, and it's not. But I can't see what else we'd be hung up on. Does that actually go through them? Yes, it does. Okay. Well, how the hell do you get that out of there? So this, I guess, okay, duh. I feel like an idiot. The oil drain actually goes through the frame, and now that I'm looking at this, it's obvious that it goes through the frame rail. But yeah, I didn't notice that right off the bat. I thought there would have been like a cutout there or something like that, that you could pick it up through, but it's just a hole in the frame. So that does need to come off of there. So what we'll do is pull that out, I guess, because we're going to use that to plug the hole in the bottom side, and then just see if we can start spinning that off with the channel locks. Yep. And then once I get this threaded, unthreaded, disconnected, whatever, then we'll be free. So I'm actually going to let that sit there and drain for just a little bit longer. And I don't know what's gotten into me. Normally I'm not this disorganized when starting a project like this. But what I'm going to do once I get the engine off the frame, probably shut the camera off so I don't bore you guys to death, and go through, pick up all the hardware, throw it in bags, label it so I know what it's for, so I don't lose it. Normally I'd take some pictures as to how things are connected, but this one is, I mean, it's so simple, I don't really think that's a necessary step to take here. But, you know, famous last words, I'm sure as I go to put it back together, there will be something that I do not remember how it goes together. But that actually looks like it's not really draining too much there, so we'll go ahead and try and pull it off of there now. I might grab a sheet of cardboard just real quick. Not that this floor hasn't seen oil before, but sometimes it's just better to try and contain the mess a little bit. Alright, there we go. Get out of there. Oh, this is why my chiropractor loves me. Oh. Man, down to the floor. Oh, there we go. And there's the little rubber piece that sits in the Lovejoy, and that should stay there. So there you are, folks. One K301 removed from a case 222. And I suppose this video is probably getting pretty long in the tooth, so I think we'll cut it off there. I'll probably go through and get all this cleaned up, oil wiped off, and inspect everything in there, and if I come across anything nifty I'll show you guys, but otherwise I'll probably keep that all to myself, spare you a little bit of the boring parts of the process. Once I get some stuff cleaned up in here on the workbench, I'll start tearing into the engine. I'm not going to order the rebuild kit right away until I see what the inside looks like. I don't want to go jumping the gun and order parts that I don't need if the inside of there is you know, totally destroyed, which I don't think it's going to be, but you never know until you see it. So you can see how easy simple carb cleaning turns into this mess. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get most of this cleaned up. Like I said, get the hardware bagged and organized so I don't lose any of it. And then once we start tearing into that little princess down there, I'll get the camera back out and bring you guys along for the ride. So with that, thanks you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.